Once again, I have 5 minutes to get ready for work-ish, but not for long, because the time has finally come for me to leave and to launch all the art stuff and to invest more time in the art stuff, more importantly, because that's what's kind of messing with me at the moment. I've not been like in the best health recently, so I'm focusing on that, and I think that's the main thing I'm looking forward to getting some time back, is just to prioritize proper sleep, to be healthy, do all my things, take my Shilajit, take my CMOS, that kind of routine checkbox that I've been too busy for recently. I have no excuses left if I'm not too busy, is the thinking. Is it the healthiest thinking? Irrelevant. I'm wanting to start workshops, and I'm also thinking of calling them skill collectives, or something about skill and sharing. Also, it's SPF, don't be mad at me doing it with my hands. Also, at any point, don't be mad at me doing it with my hands. This isn't a real thing. Everything is made up. Get a grip. Workshops. Part of the point is that all of this kind of fear around art and all of the fear of being a newbie, like, every person has to start somewhere. So I want this to be a place where people can start, where people can have like a low risk tryout of skills, and not just the kind of typical like actual artistic or technique based skills, more of like a artistic practice, how to sustain that practice, how to make that practice fulfilling. Also events and kind of curation is the main thing, how to display your art, how to take the interest, take the skills, and then produce something out of it. A lot of my background is in events anyway, so I think it's a good place to start, kind of coming from something I know a little bit, or have kind of, or that I've got a bit of experience in more recently. I've always loved putting on events, parties, planning things. I'm like, if type A and type B had a baby and then the baby had a mental breakdown, which is actually kind of what happened. But anyway, it's more like a messy chaos, very kind of oya kind of whirlwind. Let it be, let it happen. And I'm excited to see where it goes. Over the next couple months, I'm going to be doing more markets, actually going to events and having time to chat to people, to not network but connect. I guess network is still the right, I have such like a weird connotation with network that it has to be this capitalistic, manipulative, like somebody has to lose out or there's some sort of non-reality going on there. But I guess it's just building a network of people, which is ultimately what I'm trying to do. Then after Halloween, as it gets to like the winter, darker months, I'm going to be hosting an exhibition at the new Glasgow Society on Argyle Street. And this is like a second in the series, like a sequel to Soil and Sand Stay Stay, but focusing on the darker months, focusing on what gives you that same natural resilience when everything is darker than ever. Well, that's also what I want the workshops to be that thing where people can come together once a week, something like that, just to get out of bed, like a body doubling session almost. But I know some really cool people do that already, and I'm trying to actually get to that stuff now. I've got time to do it. This is what I mean, no excuses. So exciting. I think it will be fine. I actually have faith in it, and I was speaking to someone on the phone about it, and they were kind of saying, well, you kind of have to now. Not that it's not that deep, but that I get to make lightness out of it. lightness out of the awful job market, lightness out of the lack of creative skills and creative career preparation through cuts and through, you know. I think it's just important that there is something out there.
I think the last time I was here was the last time I recorded something and my microphone was actually working. Obviously it's not working today. We're doing the double whammy. Record on here and on here. We'll hope it works. It is a challenge having, even when the market is busy, if you don't have all the people at the table. I'm still in this thought process of, oh, that means my stuff is bad, that means my stuff is worse comparatively, and all of this stuff. And it's kind of just not necessary at this point. I don't have the time for that either. So I think the main thing is just the nut up and shut up, do the thing. Like, you can see how, like, I'm fidgeting, I'm moving, I'm shifting. But I think that's part of the experience. So we'll see how it goes. I also came straight after work, which probably wasn't the best idea, but also meant I was in the zone of, like, work, make money. But do I feel a little bit less put together? Yes. Is that going to be hugely consequential? Probably not. What was that? Rose. Rose was fine shit, came to say hi. Dawn, the comparisons and the kind of mind games. Like, if I could just do a market stall and not have self-development, mind game stuff, like, it's fine. I'm growing and I'm allowed to have this kind of experience. Also, like, found a new key ring, which is cute, little love heart, chili, little rose and thorn. Speaking of, if I can get it to stop moving, it's like, love. Okay, so the final day has arrived. Can I get anywhere that doesn't have a square? No, probably not. Should I clean the screen? Yes. Do I have time for that? No. It isn't cracked, I just have a really greasy face. Emotional, cute, lots of chocolate, lots of gifts, lots of coffee. I'm fixing my outfits. Some, like, Buchanan Street photographer was like, oh, can you take pictures? And I'm like caffeinated and going, I don't fucking care, it's my last day anyway, whatever. Photos pending, cute. Then everything was going great, lovely, haha, cute conversation. Then got locked out my emails, so now I can't get my P45, I can't sort out all this leaving stuff. Ridiculous. But as of 2 o'clock, not my problem. So I'm letting it go. I'm just going, I hear that, I'll write it down, I'll put it through the right channels, relinquish. So yeah, I haven't really processed. I've got too many things to do, and I've got an interview tonight. Today is the first day of being finally free, and I got to about 12 o'clock, I got to midday of rest, and then when I could be doing things, but that's willingly, which makes a change. A lot of the stuff is going to be like admin and applications, and that's okay, but I'm now kind of at my table. I'm at a setup that I've created because it works for me. I've got a good angle, I'm calmer, I'm like relaxed, I'm kind of, you know, I can chill on my chair, I've got a blanket, and it just feels good. And in the meantime, since leaving, I got accepted for another part-time, which I'm really excited about, so that has calmed down a little bit, the kind of money worry, but also cleared up a little bit of this myth of the artist, or the kind of career of an artist, because through that interview I also met a load of artists who were also applying for the position and also have several part-time jobs, and it's all about, well, if that's going to facilitate them doing what they want to do anyway, then so be it. So be it. At the market as well, I was speaking to some people at the table next to me about the idea that everyone in this room is having the same questions and self-doubt, but then going, well, I don't want to admit a failure by then sharing that with anyone else. It's not like that, because once we then had that conversation, we were both like, yeah, it's been a little bit of a different vibe. than usual, and yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed, but hey, that's what it, and that sharing then made it feel a little bit less painful and a little bit less lonely and a little bit less downbeat, because I had a bit more perspective on the situation. It's not just me. This also, it's not personal thing. I think, in a general sense, down with binary thinking, but it's never, it's whatever you kind of put out on the table. If somebody doesn't want to buy anything, it's trying to separate your self-worth from whatever you create. And I guess that's one of the things anybody who is kind of has their own business or is a sole trader or that kind of thing, legally can't really separate yourself from the business entity until you go limited, until you go, properly registered. That's kind of the benefit of that upgrade, because then you have this entity and you separate and both individually protected. But I think I'm finding that in an emotional way as well, especially with having this creative thing and not being 100% comfortable just yet putting my faces in front of it. And for now, I'm talking to like 20 people that I already vaguely know. So it's strange, but there is growth in that as well. That's something that's been on my mind recently. Also, the idea that you create your own misery. And, if you are the creator of this experience, say, you're going to the market and you're, other than customers, you're the only person that you're going to speak to for like 5-6 hours, fine, make it what you want it to be, because you're the one that's telling yourself whether it's shit or whether it's not. Because you're the one that will qualify it down the road. So if I'm the one that decides whether it's a good experience or not, how can I then look for ways in which it is a good experience? So the market just passed was not always the quietest, but I did the rose and the thorn thing. That's something that is a little bit kind of key stage 2 educational, but I think it works. It's there for a reason, and I don't know. I'm gonna get some work done. I'm gonna get more admin. I need to type up a business plan and email it and do some applications and complete the onboarding for this other part-time, and yay, 3 more coffee. It's finally happened. I think it's also weird that I'm still feeling like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because I haven't got a complete closure. There's a couple of things I need to finish off and I'm a little bit frustrated about, but I'm kind of leaving those for a few days. The world's not going to end if I don't reply for a couple of days anymore. Love that. Let's see how that works for my nervous system and my personality. Something that I find interesting as a fear as well is this fear of being too intense, when this kind of intensity is most of my personality. So by inhibiting that intensity, I've just been inhibiting my personality. If you haven't met me, I'm fucking insane and it's so funny. What do you want?